I understand those who are frustrated that the Boko Haram, and other jihadists have made many parts in the north to be fairly inhabitable. I understand the despair, the helplessness that many Nigerians would feel, and then think that, okay, we've tried everything internally and nothing is working. Maybe let's try out there. That even America is not going to come in because they want to bring in peace. They'll come in because they want to take over, in very surreptitious. They want indirect rule.
I'm sure you've heard what Trump said about Nigeria.
Yeah.
He wants to come guns blazing.
Yeah.
So that he can bring peace to Nigeria.
Mm-hmm.
If you think Trump cares about Africa, let alone Christians in Nigeria, let alone Muslims, just if you think Trump cares about black people in general, then you have another thing coming. This is a resource grab that is fixing to happen. I've spoken to a few Nigerians. Some are in favor, some are not in favor. There was a guy who told me that's in Nigeria now that many people are actually in favor of Trump coming to bring peace in Nigeria because the Nigerian government isn't doing much to bring security to Nigeria. I totally disagree. Fine, the Nigerian no. I don't disagree with Nigerians when they say that the government is not doing.
It's failing them.
The government is failing. That one I agree. But Trump is not an option. Because we all know when America goes to bring peace, they leave it. They leave it in a disarray.
Totally.
Look at Afghanistan. Look at Libya. Look at Iraq. They said Saddam has weapons of mass destruction. After the attack, after they killed Saddam, after the country is in shambles, then they said, you know what? We actually didn't find weapons of... Wait. So you killed all these people? Then later on you tell us there's no weapons of mass destruction? So America is not an option. Because, to me, that's what they're fixing to do. They're fixing to kill anything that will stand in their way between them and the resources of Nigeria. That's just to me, I think that we should have Pan-African militarization. One African army, one African Air Force, one African Navy, one African Marine. And we just bring security and we deal with African problems with African solutions. What do you think about that?
Yeah, totally. And, I always say, my brother, that the most destructive, the most lethal virus in Africa is not the coronavirus. It's not the human immunodeficiency virus, HIV/AIDS, acquired immune deficiency virus. It is not that. The worst, most lethal virus that we have to deal with to address what you're speaking about is actually the CRE virus. That's the corrupt ruling elite. The moment we wake up to that reality that it's about the corrupt ruling elite, who always enable the imperialists and the neo-colonialists, they are always enabled by the corrupt ruling elite. Now, in the case of Nigeria, I remember in the last elections, I went out on a limb and talked about Obi. Peter Obi was like the third force, if you will. And I try to talk about him from that perspective of Africa needs to now focus on the third forces in whichever country it is. But he lost. I think he even came in third. And I remember my very good Nigerian friend telling me bluntly, Obi will never win. I think he's Igbo. And, there was previously the issue of the civil war in Nigeria, the Biafra civil war. So I understand that it's still a little bit tricky, from that perspective. But what that then does is that it emboldens the corrupt ruling elite in Nigeria. It is not just about Tinubu, but it is about that clique. Because when you talk of the corrupt ruling elite, we're not talking about the single individual. In fact, in some cases, the president is just a figurehead. He's not even the one in control.
Of course.
Yeah, he's just a figurehead. So unless the people of Nigeria wake up to the fact that the next time there are elections in that country, if those elections are fairly free and fair, I know a lot of times elections are never 100% free and fair, but if they are fairly free and fair, then the people of Nigeria must look in the mirror and ask themselves, maybe it's time to truly, truly replace this corrupt ruling elite. And you do so by giving a third force person a chance. I'm not even talking about Peter Obi in this case. Whichever third force
that's not in the...
Yeah, that is not part of that clique, that ruling elite. That is the one that has to be given a chance. Because if we don't do that, I understand those who are frustrated that the Boko Haram, and other jihadists have made many parts in the north to be fairly inhabitable. I understand the despair, the helplessness that many Nigerians would feel and then think that, okay, we've tried everything internally and nothing is working. Maybe let's try out there. So it is incumbent on us to educate them like you just have, that even America is not going to come in because they want to bring in peace. They'll come in because they want to take over, in very surreptitious. They want indirect rule. Even during colonialism, the British and the French sometimes ruled through indirect rule. So you still have your local leader who has been the leader for millennia, but now they're answering to the British. So it's easy for the Americans to have such neocolonialism where now they're calling the shots in Nigeria, but through the elected president, through the elected governors. Now, some Nigerians may say that, but if that means we stop being killed, so be it. And I will not invalidate their concern. I will not invalidate their despair and the solution they have for that despair. But it's going to be my duty and your duty to show them how that better way looks like. So that we have to show them that this Pan-African army that will bring peace here, this is how it will progressively grow. Because they can throw back at you that, do you honestly think that all these African presidents who can barely agree on anything can actually agree on an army? Maybe they'll be afraid that that army can be used to overthrow me, such things. So it's work in progress. It's work in progress. Suffice it to say for now that the United States of America, Britain, France, China, even Russia, because another bone of contention that we have in Africa has to do with Russia, because there are people who believe that Russia is completely benevolent and we just should give them a blank check, and that is erroneous, because nobody should ever have a blank check. The moment you do that, you're giving up your sovereignty. So yes, the Russians, even if they're 100% benevolent and they completely just want to help Africa and stand by us, we cannot then do what some presidents do, where now Russian mercenaries or soldiers become the bodyguards of the president for the sake of security. If that's going to happen, Orina, for 1 month as you put your house in order, so be it. But it means the Russians, should they decide that they want to kill you, they'll easily do it, because they're the ones, in charge of your security. So sovereignty simply means that we as Africans are the ones in control of our affairs. Completely. So nobody should then be given that blank check, including Americans, in the name of security, because they will come in and it is possible, my brother, that their mere presence in Nigeria, as they try to bring in security, will now attract even more jihadists. You see what I mean?
Interesting.
Yeah, so people on the ground in Nigeria need to understand that when a country like Kenya was attacked in 1998,
the bomb blast.
Yeah, it was purely because Kenya was seen as being a friend of America. So Kenya died because of our geopolitical, pro-American, historical pro-American position that we've had for the longest time. So that made Kenya to be extremely unsafe. You know, the young Gen Zs in Kenya, or the older Gen Alphas, or all the Gen Alphas, may not know that there was a time in Kenya when you didn't have to be frisked when you're entering anywhere, you know. That only came after the terrorists started attacking Kenya. And they started attacking Kenya because of our pro-American position, you see. So the Americans need to look at that. I mean, the Nigerians, they need to look at that and realize that they can easily become Sahel 2.0 if America is deemed as now being their protector. All those jihadists can now focus on Nigeria simply because they look at them as puppets of America. So America going to Nigeria is not going to bring peace to nobody.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, man. And you know, America has a bad history of bringing of these peace missions, and they end up leaving the place worse than they found it.
Exactly.
So that's why I know that, like you said, the desperation is there. There's a lot of insecurity in the northern parts of Nigeria. I get it.
Yeah.
But we need to find other ways. To me,
we have to.
All these African presidents, you know, sometimes I wonder, I think most of them should just go home.
Yeah.
Because like we don't have that brotherly love.
Yeah.
And sisterly love that we should have here in Africa. Because if Nigeria is having a jihadist problem, Congo having a rebel, Congo having a M23 rebel problem, Sudan having a rebel problem with RSF, why don't they say, you know what? No, we can't let this happen. Let's just come together, and Kenya, give us some of your men. Gabon, give us some of your men.
Exactly.
South Africa, give us some of your men. We organize into a joint African army. We start because you know these guys are so far gone.
Exactly.
There's no way you can reform Boko Haram people.
Yeah, you can't.
There's no way you can reform RSF
fire
people.
with fire.
Yeah, there's no way you can reform RSF people.
Yeah.
The only way to deal with them is to wipe them out.
Yeah.
And I agree. Let's wipe them out so that we can bring peace. But let's do it on our own.
Yeah.
All these armies here, then what's the use of us having armies if we can't even help each other?
Exactly.
So we are busy going to, I think Kenya, was it, I don't know if it's in the 90s, but I know it's during Moi's time. There was a mission that the Kenyan army went to Bosnia.
Yeah. Exactly.
Bosnia.
Yeah,
so why are we going all the way to Bosnia?
Yeah, and yet here.
And we can't even solve our problem here.
It's true. Exactly.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But you think there's hope?
Yeah, actually, I can conclude by saying that I'm persuaded that this generation of Africans is the one to truly transform Africa. But we have to decolonize our minds completely. And the biggest component of decolonizing our minds is realizing that we are the ones we've been waiting for. You know, we're completely the ones we've been waiting for. And now I'm challenging all people who have strong opinions on what should happen in their countries, what should happen in Africa, run for office or support somebody who's running for office. You know, we no longer have the luxury of disassociating ourselves or divorcing ourselves from the political process, because the Western-style democracy that is currently governing Africa only rewards players in that electoral process. So we cannot continue being on the sidelines. We just can't. We have to, you have to ask yourself, who would I want to be president of Kenya? However long their shot is, however it appears on the surface that this fellow can never win, the third forces in Africa are the ones that are going to transform Africa. And what I mean by the third forces is simply not the ruling regimes, not the alternative regimes, because many of them are just cut from the same cloth. You know, they're just the other side of the coin.
Yeah, they're the same.
Yeah, just waiting for their turn to eat. But the third force are now the folks who are not part of that, you know, but folks who are daring to say, okay, I think I'm going to run for president, or I'm going to run for whatever seat it is. Africans can no longer be spectators of the political process, because that is what empowers the corrupt ruling elite. But I am persuaded that there is more than hope. There's a path forward. And this path forward is because the young people of Africa have proved time and again from 2011, from that time of the Arab Spring. The youth of Africa have proved that they are a political force. They just have to organize this force now and move it from uprising to revolution. Revolution goes beyond regime change. Revolution goes to systemic change, where the entire society, the entire way of doing things in the society changes completely. That's what is needed now.